Most cars on the road are some shade of neutral color, black, white, silver, beige, everything in between.
Now, every so often you get a burst of color. 2007 Volvo XC90 V8 Sport. Something happened to me 2 weeks ago. I became a dad. Now, to be clear, I didn't become a father. Our family was growing, so to speak, and it was moving day at the apartment, so we were going from West LA to somewhere in the valley, and adding roommates is what happened. And we all get along, surprisingly. But I just got tired of loading up the Prius with stuff, and I needed to downsize my car, so I sold off a BMW, and then that week, I just went, I need a bigger car. And now I started this weird journey of thinking back on how I grew up in the back of an SUV, the third row seat of some car, some beige interior, and I've been trying to maybe subconsciously replicate those experiences. Or maybe having a car that's only got one other seat, a little roadster, just felt like something for me, but it wasn't quite social enough and I couldn't put all my friends in it. Or maybe I got tired of going to IKEA and then trying to shuffle my tool bag with the stuff that we bought with the roommates in the back, and it was too much. So I started thinking big. And right now, I'm sitting inside of my new, to me, 2007 Volvo XC90 V8 Sport. Gotta have that V8. And the first video that you're watching now is going to show you the ins and outs of the car, what I got, and then the other videos will be the journey of all the other cars I looked at, and then the purchase and all the problems with this car for the first week of ownership. And there are problems. It's a Volvo. It's a 13-year-old Volvo, so, don't hold your breath. The story, I hope, has a happy ending. At the time of recording, I'm not so sure, but I'm cautiously optimistic, and I think more importantly, I'm financially prepared. So, without further ado, let's take a look at this car. Okay. Passion Red V8 Sport. The V8 has a lot of cool stuff that it's going to come with. You'll notice right away, though, some of the problems. Maybe we should get to the problems first, or maybe I'll do both simultaneously. She needs tires. She's got an oil leak. That is water dripping right now. And she needs a fog light. Also a little bit of yellowing on those HIDs, but it is the swiveling active HID lights. The later year grills, I think 2011 to 13, have the larger Volvo emblem in the middle. I'm gonna look for one of those grills, but that's gonna look really nice. 225/50 R19. Got a lot of miles, it seems, out of these Michelin Latitudes. Typically what I see with Michelins is the sun damage gets to them before the tread wears out, and this car seems to be no exception. I grew up in New Mexico, so we had tons of UV over there at a mile elevation. Out here, not so much. Another cool thing about these sport models is the trim is only half as high. The black plastic fender trim. The rest of it is painted to match the body color. The only fading on the paint, serious fading on the clear coat right here on these mirror caps, but thankfully they can be painted. This one's a little loose. Looks like I might have bumped a few things, broken a few plastic mounts, but the body for the most part is in remarkable condition. Okay, some obvious stuff here, just typical wear and tear. That's all coming apart. But you do get the satin aluminum finish down at the bottom as well with the V8 models. Gosh, I feel like a used car salesman. Here's the thing. There aren't a lot of videos on these cars that are less than 3 years old, so I'm really taking it upon myself to just saturate the YouTube market with information on this car because honestly, I couldn't find it, so there's got to be a need for it. On our way to the back here, I love that the washer nozzle is up there with the LED light. Does it work? Maybe. I'll find out later once the car's dirty. I just took it to the wash. The parking sensors in the rear, that's an option I really love. Believe it or not, these are chrome tips. Rumor has it, so we'll see if I can shine them up. Looks like some moisture got in through this light. Either there is a compromised seal from the power car wash or a gasket where the bulb is. Who knows what's going on there. The early XC90 rear lights had just the circles, the kind of weird cockeyed circles. The 2009 and forward years have the 24-inch Volvo letters that are spaced out. I like that a lot. It does have a split tailgate. It's not as cool as the Land Rover Discovery split tailgates, which are a little bit more in the middle, but still, you get something, and that's fun for me.
Because, you know, if it opens, probably going to stand on it. I love these wheels. One nice thing to having these really big wheels, curb rash is, well, this would be the one that gets it the most, right? The fat tire kind of minimizes the curb rash effect, but it looks like somebody still approached it a little aggressively. But you know, all the trim is still on. That's really exciting to me. It's a California car, as far as I can tell. Here is where the wire's been tucked in for the satellite radio antenna. Very well put. I have no idea why there's a big plastic panel there. Maybe they just wanted to match the sunroof in terms of design. This is gonna wax up so nicely. I'm just thrilled with this passion red, but I do want to replace that rubber. I should like to have nice seals all around. Big windshield, free of cracks. It looks like it's got a rain sensor and a light sensor. Well, right away you can see some TLC was missing the last couple of years, but I'm gonna guess that they had long nails. Now, the woman I bought it from was the wife of the owner, and you know, my age, millennial. She's got long, fancy nails, fake nails. They do some damage. Every time you reach over for the seatbelt, yikes. The 2016 XC90 that my friend has, the same issue. His wife's got normal nails, but still, yikes. Right here, it seems like every door panel, some of the switches, you know, they're not spared. Our seats are really cool. I just love these seats. I like the piping on the outside. I like the softer leather versus that sort of rough saddleback feel leather that the other Volvos have, the other XC90s. This is all wrapped in felt to prevent squeaking. There's a little fading on there, a little bit of peeling on the felt, but for the most part, they're quiet. You do kind of climb into this car. It's not so much like a Land Rover. I was really interested in those, but you're in a command position, and then you got stadium seating, so your roofline bumps up with the Rovers. This is just, you know, an SUV. It's like that Toyota right there. It's not like the van in front of it, which is what the Rover would be if a van had leather interior and air ride. But anyway, this my shop quoted $500 to replace the whole seat, and I was like, come on, I'm just gonna get some plastic. This is the same plastic for every trim model. All-weather floor mats. Carpet underneath is A-okay. These are really hefty, actually. I've got some new ones coming. Looks like the parking brake rubbers slipped off. The headlights are cool. I'm excited to show you the HIDs. The turn signal switch, a little sticky. First thing I did when I got in the car is I pulled off the steering wheel cover, which was not bad, but I just don't like steering wheel covers. And I wanted to see the condition of the leather more importantly. It's actually surprisingly in good shape for what it is. And yes, the blue face gauges. Oh, non-negotiable for me. If I'm gonna have a Volvo, it's gonna have them. All right, she's got the nav, a little outdated, but it works. I haven't really bothered to mess with it because, you know, cell phones are just superior in every way than navigation was in 2007, but nice to know. Yeah, these visors are a little dirty. I could use some shampooing, but the problem is the foam, it's the nice material. It's this stuff. It's not the, you know, early 90s stuff. The felt is nice. The door seals are okay, you know, in terms of keeping out sound, because boy, it's noisy today. Busy street. But the foam underneath it gathers impressions from fingers. You can see all of those. Oof, I don't like that. Now, the sunroofs on these P2 models are notorious for failing, and I should be happy that it works, you know, just as a bare minimum. But it does have a little bit of rattle, a little vibration on it, and yeah, I don't want to mess with it too much. I don't want to break it, especially when the shade is back. It rattles even more. Okay, there's a DVD player in the back of these headrests. There are the screens. The player itself is right here in the center. That makes this heavy. And you hear all those squeaks? This big plastic hinge and the plastic on plastic squeaks. Ugh. A big cable in there running all the power and the audio, video, input, output. Anyway, it's a noisy interior. I don't like it. The most comfortable seats in the world really help to make up for it. Pockets in the front, love that. Okay, the Sport gets this. Everyone else gets the faux wood trim, or maybe it's real laminate, whatever. Doesn't matter, because I don't have it and I don't like it that much, because I like the Sport. Chapstick holder, big cup holders, the plastic in there is still in good shape. 180,000 miles. Did I mention the mileage? 180,000, okay? Oil change is done in February, so that really helps. But yeah, we've got some oil leaks. We'll get to that in a second. The boot leather is peeling, just like Subaru, just like every Land Rover. I'm gonna keep talking about Land Rover because that was my main competitor to this car. but the stainless trim everywhere is really nice. On the vents, right here, around the rings, steering, okay, the shiny polished steel, brushed aluminum, whatever they want to call it. Speaking of auto adjustment, the rear shocks on this might be the Nevo mats. Let's take a look. I can't really tell through here. Definitely need rear brakes. They are squeaky. Look at the pad life on that. Oof, we are almost out of pad back here on these rear brakes. Another big selling point on the XC90 versus other cars. Oh, I don't like the door lock thing because everything locks, and then I'll push it again, everything unlocks. Okay, sometimes if the car's running, it'll unlock automatically, whatever. All right, I gotta get these plants home, and I gotta unpack everything. I was just in San Diego for the weekend, and I picked this car up on my way home, visiting family and all that. So, yeah, the leather's good. It has some impressions that it's kept, like over here. This is an impression from the seatbelt, however, it was folded for any length of time. But one of my favorite things, the third row seat. Okay, this is the lever to release the seat, and it folds down. Now, the cool thing about this is just how it looks when it comes up. I love this. Bloop. That's so cool to me. Anyway, looks like some cleaning would go a long way back here. A simple wipe didn't take care of it, but the mat. Okay, so back here you have a fan control for your rear climate control. There's a button that allows access to the back passengers for some climate stuff, which is cool. You can see the little hook there for the seatbelt to kind of push it out of the way. That's what it looks like, much better with all the sunlight. Big storage cubby right here. As an adult, yeah, I'll kind of fit back here. You'll see in the next videos as I go shopping for cars, I do jump in the back of one of these to see how much room I have. If you're a short adult and you don't need leg room, I'm talking 5'8" and below, you're good. All right. These do slide on the tracks a little bit, which is nice. That's some adjustability so you can accommodate. The metal door handles are so nice, dude. I get excited about that kind of stuff. I'm very tactile. 12 volts on the rear, that's cool. Storage cubbies are cool, but they are in the way of the seatbelts. Okay, if we don't want you to rattle, what do we do? Tell me what you need. You gonna be okay? You gonna behave? Cool, split tailgate, here we go. That's an awfully big lever just for this, but there she is. This might be an interesting spot worth looking. Pull up on that, be very careful. It's a thin piece of plastic. You can see the battery, you can see a bunch of sand from the beach. And honestly, I'm glad it's sand and not rust, but that's something if you're doing a detail on this car, go ahead and wipe that off. Now, storage tray, very nice. It's got the little detents in the top, so it does hold itself up. Okay, good. And then you can pull this. Oh, I see. You must first release these two. Then you can pull this up. Oh boy. All right, let's fold that back down. And then this whole thing comes up. You see the feet in there. There's the seats. For whatever reason, somebody was in here and they removed the bolts on that bracket, which spans the back. Those might be the bolts that are now holding the battery tray in place, but they're mismatched. Who knows? Spare tire access. There's the center piece right here. That's what you would twist down so you can get the tire to drop below. And it is nice of them, impressive really, that there is a spare tire instead of just a box of well wishes and fix a flat. And these little hooks here for grocery bags, very fun, very nice. Okay, so we got that. You can see, I think it's split right between the two mats, or somebody cut it just for ease of use, maybe. That's the thing about used cars. You're kind of playing, you're doing some forensic work. A little bit of damage here on the back. This is plastic, it's not aluminum like the rest, but yeah, the chrome tips, the spare tire. We'll take a more in-depth look underneath the car later, but just to give you a little bit of a sneak peek, yeah. You can see all the bushings pretty clearly. You don't have to crawl into the car so much. There's the sway bar end links, one of the first things I'm gonna replace. I'm suspicious of all of them, and it's $100 for a set of HDs. Yep, the spring, the hinge, it breaks, it's common. on P2 cars. So if you cannot get this open, like the servo is broken, you can get in behind the carpet from the inside. There's I think a green handle or a green cable, something you just pull on that. It'll help release it. The doors feel really good, like really good. The speakers could use some upgrading, but in terms of quality and the weight of everything, it's nice. It's real nice. You get a net and a pocket on the back of each one. The nets are already stretched out, so if you find some that aren't stretched out, consider yourself lucky. There's the screens in the back. Who knows if they work? They're kind of useless at this point. The kids are on their Switch. They play Nintendo Switch, and Animal Crossing is what keeps them occupied. Sorry, the roommates. This is what it's gonna look like on the other side once it's all put back together. Looks like a little separation of the rubber on that trim. Nothing a little super glue won't fix. But for the most part, she ages really well, and just the sensation of my head up against the soft leather. I like to move my head back and forth a lot. It's just so comforting. Let's have a look under the hood. Start this thing. A Yamaha 4.4 liter V8. $180, 364. Got a driver door open, and we are low on fluid. 19.9 miles per gallon average. It was right at 20, but I think I moved it from one position to the other and it dropped. It would have been nice for the video. Okay, we've got the navigation, we talked about it. We've got the lights. You do have a compass in the mirror. That's a feature for the V8. It's an option. The folding mirrors, the bi-directional xenon lights, those are all options. Blind spot indication system, the rear air conditioning, the child locks, I heard them all lock, and the folding mirrors. Hello. We'll go have a look under the hood. Which is... I do need shocks for the hood. I'm gonna have to hold this up. I'm limited in my ability to talk about it. Twist those caps. You can twist it or you can spin it by hand. They failed. I'm suspicious of them, okay? I'm suspicious of the bottle for the coolant. I am suspicious of why my engine cover is missing on this side, as well as the service belts, and looks like the backside is missing too. It's $120 for all of those used on eBay. I'm gonna have to buy them, but I love this engine. It's smooth and its power delivery, everything's really nice. This is a transmission cooler here in the front. It's been added. You pull these two tabs, the headlights come out. Really cool. Oh, that is one heavy hood. I'm kind of a noisy fan too, but look at these babies. I really want to clean up the plastic, but I am just so happy with it. You get sprayers too. I don't know if that's just the Sport or if it's an option on all XC90s. I love the little doggy ears folding back on these mirrors. It's just a great car, dude. I'm thrilled. Well, that's it. That is the overview of the car. Yes, the valve covers are leaking. Could use front and rear brakes. It wasn't really a car that was neglected terribly, but it wasn't a car that was spick and span. So pretty happy with what I got. Now the story of the price and all of that, stay tuned so you can know what I paid for it. But I'm just thrilled. And I'm excited to have a big, tall car. And it's actually not huge. My parking garage clearance is somewhere about 8 feet. This thing barely hits 6 foot with the rails. The only reason I know that is because I'm 6'2", and I've got a few inches on these rails. Let's go for a bit of a drive. Wrap up this video. Maybe you can hear the engine if possible. Let her rip, tater chip. Just had the transmission fluid replaced. That's something I recommend every one of you do. So smooth on this engine. The power delivery, it's good. 315 or 311, whatever the numbers are. I've seen both. I think the Volvo brochure says 311 horsepower, and then like 300 something, even more, 350 torque. I don't know, Volvo's always putting more torque than horsepower in the engines, even though this is the Yamaha V8. That was real light throttle. I'm sure there's a ton of wind noise, but just to give you an experience of the ease of drivability that this car has. Okay, I gotta go look at this chair. I think I want it, and if it fits in here, that'd be so cool. Things like this. One of the reasons I really wanted the car. Oh, you're beautiful. already paying off. Love it.